Hello, welcome to the 100th Developer Diary Spectacular. Okay, well, maybe that's a little over-enthusiastic, but for this Developer Diary, I'd like to talk about Developer Diaries. So, I'm not sure if any of you watching are indie game developers, but, I think doing Developer Diaries is a really great thing, which is why I spend so much time doing them, but I'll talk about how I do them and how I try and keep that time to a minimum. So firstly, I do spend a good amount of time doing Developer Diaries. If you look at the Developer Diary playlist, it's over 10 hours of content. And of course it takes longer than 10 hours to do it. I gotta film, I gotta process it, upload, and write comments and stuff. But I think it's good because it keeps Neverending Nightmares sort of fresh in people's minds. Because one of the problems is with Retrograde is that people forgot. You know, people forgot that it was a game, people forgot that it was coming out, people forgot we were still working on it. So we got a lot of people at subsequent PAXs that would say, you know, oh, I loved your game 2 PAXs ago, I didn't even realize it came out, which is like, that's like the worst thing you can say to a game developer, like, I didn't know your game came out. It's like, no. You know, the most important information, I think, to get across about your game is that it's out, that people can buy it. I mean, especially when you have a long development cycle. So with the Developer Diaries, I can actually interface with you guys. You know what I'm working on, or at least know what I'm thinking about, and know that I'm still banging away. And also I think it provides content for people to stay interested. Because, you know, if you don't continue to say things about your game or what you're doing or what you're thinking, then people can lose interest. They can say like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. There was a Kickstarter a while ago, or I backed that, maybe it'll come out. But not stay engaged in the community. So I've put a lot of effort into keeping the community engaged and keeping people excited about Neverending Nightmares, because I think it will pay off. And on Retrograde, you know, I just wanted to keep my head down and code and code and code, and so I'm trying to do everything the opposite as I did on Retrograde. But let me talk a little bit more about my Developer Diary process. So, firstly, one of the things is that I don't always talk about Neverending Nightmares. You know, I talk about what I'm thinking about. I talk about horror a lot, and I think that's a really good thing to talk about, because there's only so much I want to review about Neverending Nightmares. I'm very worried about spoilers, and so I try and keep my, you know, cards pretty close to my chest until we release, you know, a new alpha build or whatever, and then even then I don't really want to tell people all the secrets and, you know, all the story elements and what they mean and stuff, just because I think, you know, to some extent, this story is a puzzle, and it's going to be exciting to try and figure out what everything means. But I think, you know, it's something to keep people interested in you know, our YouTube channels and Twitters and all that stuff, and you know, it's pretty easy, at least for me. You know, I can talk about, I don't know, Predator. I talked about the Predator for 5 minutes or something before. I mean, basically I can talk about any game I've played. You know, I talk a lot about games I played, usually in the horror genre, you know, but I can talk about any game I've played for at least 5 minutes, and sometimes I have problems keeping myself to 5 minutes, which I think I'm going to go over on this video as well. But you know, it's easy to come up with content when you're just talking about whatever you're thinking about, and so that's why, you know, sometimes there's longer periods where I just do like game, and well, I try and mix up the order sometimes. But another trick I do is I usually record them a bunch at once. So I'm recording this video. I'm probably recording several other videos right now. Just because I have my camera set up, you know, I'm thinking about it. I can, you know, it saves time on, you know, transferring them all at once in a memory card, you know, and all this other things that, you know, you wouldn't think it'd add up to that much time, but you'd be surprised. It's a pain in the butt, and basically I'm trying to minimize, you know, the amount of time I spend on the videos. Which is not to say that I don't enjoy them or I don't think you people deserve amazing videos, but it's like, you know, I'm doing this instead of working on the game. I think it's valuable, but I want to do this in sort of an optimal, fast way. So the other thing, yeah, is also sometimes I change my shirt even though I'm recording them all at the same time. Now I've let you in on my secret, but I think it feels less weird, you know, when I'm pushing them out at, you know, I try three videos a week, which is it's a tough schedule to keep up. But you know, yeah, so even if I'm recording them at the same time, I change my shirt, and sometimes I put them out of order, like before I was talking about, you know, sometimes I'll record a batch talking about video games and, you know, that I've been playing, and then I have ones that about the actual game, and so I try and intersperse them. But the other thing I do is I keep video production to a big minimum. So like a lot of people with splash screens like Neverending Nightmares, Developer Diary or something at the beginning, or you know, intercut a bunch of screenshots of everything, and well, I don't do any of that. Like, I record two types of videos. One, it's me, my face, sitting here talking. And two, it's the game, and I'm talking over the game. And that's because, you know, essentially no video editing. For the ones where I'm just talking over the game, I just encode the fraps recording. For these, I go in and I chop off the beginning where I turn on the camera, and when I turn off the camera. For a while I was chopping off like the end points, because when I get to the end of the video I sort of trail off and don't say anything intelligent, so I was cutting those off, and then people were saying like, your video had a really sudden cutoff, and sometimes mid-sentence, which it kind of was, because I'm like, so, and so I just chop that off. But now I try and end intelligently, and not trail off into nothing at the end of the videos. But we'll see. I'll have to pay attention to how I finish these videos, this video or even any other video, because I'm not actually that good at it. And sometimes I do have to boost the audio because I just get quiet. I don't know why. I mean, maybe I'll get better at this, and now I'm trying to keep up my volume, but like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's just something I need to work on. So basically, I don't do any video production, and you know, I don't really put a lot of effort on the side of, you know, computers and making them look nice. Just because I think it's more about the content, and I do put a lot of thought into the content, and I try and come up with things that are interesting, and I don't just talk about every game I play. I talk about the games that I think would be interesting to the audience, and things that I think, you know, help me get perspective on what we're doing for Neverending Nightmares, and I think I have a lot of good things to say, hopefully, and I don't worry that I will run out of things to say, because I've already done 100, so so at this point it's like I've never really run out of ideas. Well, I mean, sometimes I have to scratch my head and think a little bit more, but I don't you know, really worry that I'll run out of things to say. I guess maybe because I'm talkative or something, it might be harder for other people, but at least for me, I'm doing all right. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching, and super bonus points to whoever has seen all 100. That's quite a commitment to the game over 10 hours of footage of me talking. Although I guess Joe did a few, and we had some in-engine ones. But even still, so thanks for watching, and I hope you like them, and I will continue doing more.